Thank you. I'm very happy to be here and present Smart Eye for you today. My name is Anders Lyrheden and I'm the CFO of Smart Eye. I'm especially happy to present Smart Eye for our Finnish shareholders primarily. Finland is actually the second largest shareholder when it comes to countries in Smart Eye, which is maybe a bit unproportionally, but very, very nice. And we're very happy about that. So once again, thank you. So Smart Eye was founded in 1999 in Gothenburg, Sweden, and we still have our headquarters and based in Gothenburg. What we do is that we develop human insight AI that understands, predicts, and enhances the human behavior. And we do that in very complex environments, such as within the automotive industry and in advanced research applications. So the offering is that we provide eye tracking, we provide facial expression analysis, emotional AI that also can detect objects and activities in a specific environment. Head office in Gothenburg, as I said, but we also have offices in Boston, Detroit in the US, in Japan, in Germany, in Egypt, and as well as in China. And actually, since a couple of weeks ago, when we signed an acquisition with iMotions, we have an office in Copenhagen, another office in Boston, and a small one in Singapore. I will come back to iMotions to the end of this presentation. We did the signing a couple of weeks ago, and closing when we actually take over the company will take place in a couple of weeks. But currently, Smart Eye consists of 4 business areas. Automotive solutions, where we offer an embedded driver monitoring systems and interior sensing solutions for the large volume automotive customers of this world, the OEMs. I will come back more in detail to automotive solutions because that's where we see the highest growth going forward. But we also have applied AI systems where we have developed hardware and software for driver monitoring systems aimed for aftermarket retrofit and small volume OEMs. Applied AI systems is still in pre-revenue, so we haven't started to sell, but the product as such is ready to be delivered, and we do expect sales to start coming in Q1 of next year. In the research area, we have research instruments, which is actually the oldest business area. That's where we started in 1999. We sell eye tracking measurement hardware and software for advanced research applications. The customers could be universities, it could be large corporations, research facilities, but it can also be companies or organizations like NASA, US Air Force, etc. With the acquisition of Affectiva this summer, we also got the 4th business area called Media Analytics, where we provide camera-based emotional AI software for the advertising and media industry. It's really about having people watching a commercial ad, as an example, and our software is measuring what kind of emotions, if you're happy, if you're angry, concerned, and whatever emotions you have when you watch that commercial ad. And then you can cut it in another way in order to achieve the best outcome as possible. Sales-wise, we have a rolling 12 months after Q3 of 121 million SEK, fairly divided equally between the 3 business areas. And as I said, the applied AI system is still pre-revenue. So, automotive solutions. This is a business area where we provide driver monitoring systems. And a driver monitoring system is a system where you basically have a camera in front of the driver, and that camera captures an image of you. And with our software, we can detect an impairment with the driver. And an impairment could be that you're about to fall asleep, you're getting drowsy, or you are being inattentive, you're looking at something else, your mobile phone or something else. And in sort of the ultimate case, it's actually also about detecting if the driver is alive or not. But it can also be used to personalize your experience by adjusting things in the car based on the driver identification or the driver state. The development of driver monitoring is that you not only want to measure the driver in the car, you want to measure the passenger and the passengers in the back seat as well. And if you add this to the driver monitoring system, you get something that we call interior sensing. And interior sensing is about detecting the state of the vehicle cabin with a camera and the occupants in the cabin. So it could be where people are sitting, the objects they are using, the activities, reactions, mood and emotions, and what else. And both DMS, driver monitoring systems, and interior sensing is about safety first. In the case of driver monitoring, it's about drowsiness and inattention. In interior sensing, it is about ensuring that you don't let your child left behind in the car, or a pet, or an object, or something else. And the acquisition of Affectiva not only gave us media analytics, it gave us, and that was maybe even more important for us, a very deep knowledge about interior sensing and cabin monitoring, as we call it. So we feel that with the acquisition of Affectiva and the merger with Affectiva, we have an ability to offer a solution of interior sensing which is ready for the market much faster than any of our competitors. If we look at the automotive supply chain that we're operating in, we are what we call a tier 2 supplier, meaning that we supply our direct customers, not the car manufacturer, it's not the OEM. It's rather the tier 1s of this world. Tier 1s are very big system suppliers to the automotive industry, and you can see some of the names here. So we sell directly to the tier 1s and indirectly to the OEMs. I usually say that the beauty of being in the automotive industry is that when you are in the, when you have won a design win or won a customer, you're in for a very long period of time. And this slide shows the platform of a car platform, basically, of an automotive OEM car platform. Everything starts with a procurement phase where the OEM procures the system from the tier 1 and the tier 2. When all of us have agreed, we are getting a contract stating that you will be able to develop the system for one or more cars on this platform. And then we communicate one or more design wins. Then a development phase starts, which takes also about 1 to 3 years. We get partially cost coverage through non-recurring engineering revenue, but it's really when the production of the first car model on this platform starts, that is really when we get our revenue. And then we get a high margin license fee. It's basically 100% margin. Estimated average sales price is between 5 and 10 euros. And we get this per produced car every year the car is produced on this platform. A car model usually lives for 7 years. A car platform usually has a lifetime of 14 years. So the OEM starts to launch one car model in the beginning of the platform's life cycle, and then it continues to launch new car models on the platform until basically the car models and the platform comes to an end. To date, Smart Eye has won 89 different car models, or as we call it, 89 different design wins. And by having those 89 design wins, we believe that we have a clear market leadership. We think that we have around 60% of all the DMS design wins that has been announced to date, compared to our competitors. And we have tried to put a value to these design wins. And the combined value of the 89 design wins we have is a bit over 2 billion Swedish crowns on a life cycle value, which is over 7 years. If we would win all the additional design wins on the existing platforms that we have already won, we will get another 4 billion in life cycle revenue. And we strongly believe that there is a big possibility for us to do that. Historically, we have seen that we are continuing to winning new car models on existing platforms, and we believe that is going to continue going forward. But this is only the beginning. We see that in the coming 18 months, more than 10 billion Swedish crowns is going to be nominated by different car OEMs. And after that, it's going to be maybe another 10 billion in nominations of DMS systems. And why is this? The reason, one of the drivers is that we can see that the regulation is going in our way. We have a regulatory tailwind because in Europe, there is a law in the European community that starting in 2022, a large toll gate in 2024, and finally in 2026, all produced cars or sold cars in new cars in Europe needs to have a DMS system. We do believe that other geographies will follow as well. We could see that last Friday, I think it was, there was an infrastructure bill passed in the US stating that DMS will also be mandatory in the US going forward. I usually draw an analogy with safety belts and airbags in this case. It started in premium cars, went down to mid-segment cars, and now you can hardly find any car in the world without an airbag. We can see the same development within DMS, starting in the German premium cars and then moving down to budget cars. So having said that, we believe that 30 to 50 million of all the cars being produced or sold in the world by 2026 will have a DMS system installed. But DMS is only the beginning. As I said earlier, we believe that DMS is going to evolve into what we call interior sensing. Interior sensing is when you combine driver monitoring with cabin monitoring, i.e. you measure everything inside the car. And it's both for safety and user experience convenience factors. So in the DMS system, as I said earlier, safety features are inattention, drowsiness, safe airbag deployment, etc. In the cabin monitoring system, you have child left behind, pet detection, passenger out of position, etc. And then from a user experience convenience perspective, you can use it for personalized settings. You can adapt the environment in the cabin by the mood and the emotion of the driver or the passengers, etc. One of the big reasons why we did the acquisition of Affectiva is that we saw already in 2015 that we were very early in winning the German premium OEMs RFQs when it comes to DMS. And that, we believe, is one of the reasons why we are the market leader today. We were very early in winning these RFQs, the request for quotes, the quotations. And we believe it's equally important to do that within the interior sensing market as well. And by acquiring Affectiva and merger with Affectiva's automotive cabin monitoring capabilities, we believe that we have a very good position to win those early key RFQs. And we could actually see already this summer that the first key RFQ in the interior sensing market came out. So we think that we are perfectly positioned to do that. And on top of this, as a couple of weeks ago, as I said, we did another acquisition of a company called iMotions. And iMotions is a Danish company founded in Copenhagen in 2005. And they are the leader when it comes to multimodal software for the human behavior research market. So what iMotions do is that they provide a software that combines input or output from a multitude of biometric sensors. And a biosensor hardware, a biometric sensor, could be an eye tracker, could be an EEG, could be a galvanic skin response sensor, etc. And when you do this, you get a much better understanding of the human behavior. iMotions has always been profitable and growing. They did, of course, as so many others, suffer from COVID-19, but we can see now in Q3 that they are coming back into growth again. The markets they are operating in is both commercial and in the academic segment. And as you can see on this slide, the market maturity when it comes to this type of research, human behavior research using multimodal software, is in its very introduction or growth phase. So we believe that there is going to be much higher growth going forward. So why do you use multimodality when you do human behavior research? Historically, when you have investigated or researched something when it comes to human behavior, you have used surveys. Basically, you have had a piece of paper where you have asked people, how did you experience what you saw, what you did? But if you can use sensors like eye trackers, you can use facial expression analysis, which we together with Affectiva can provide. But if you add on other modalities as EEG, you can measure heart rate, galvanic serum response, etc. The degree of insights that you get of the human behavior is increasing by the modality you add. So this can be used in the research industry, but we can also see a rationale to have this when it comes to offering in the automotive industry. We started with research instruments back in the early 2000s, eye tracking, researching eye tracking, providing eye tracking systems for research industry. That evolved into our offering in the automotive DMS market that we currently are offering to the OEMs. With the acquisition of Affectiva, together with our joint forces, we are now developing what we call automotive interior sensing. Next step in the automotive industry is that we can see that in the future, you will not only use a camera when you measure inside the cabin of the car. You would use other modalities. It could be radar, it could be speech, it could be gesture, it could be other modalities. By the acquisition of iMotions, we're getting very useful knowledge and expertise in the multimodal world of this world. But we can also use it for future verticals like in healthcare, aviations, etc. So that was one of the rationales of the iMotions acquisition. And the other one is that we can see by adding Affectiva, media analytics, smart eye research instruments, and iMotions, we are creating a strategic first move, getting a first mover position in the research market, which are transforming into much more modality, multimodal analysis, rather than just using surveys or one modality in the research business. So by that, I would like to thank everyone for this opportunity to present. More than happy to answer questions that you have. You can email or get in contact with us if you have specific questions. Thank you very much.